Now in this video I'm going to show you the rock generator tool. So by default, loading the asset will generate just this cluster of rocks. We also have here furthermore options, so I can actually input a certain area that I would like to have covered in rocks. I also have then here settings, so you can play around here with the seed, for example. So we can have different rocks. So if you just want to have one big rock, I suggest you play around here with the seed. But if you want to have, for example, a certain bridge in rocks, then we can quickly build a bridge out of boxes. Then in here, we can go to World Outliner. I'm going to start selecting these 3 simple boxes. Use this as my selection. And after a second, we now have these covered in rocks. So let's go to the settings. So here at the top, we have actually our resolution. So we can, for example, increase this. So when increasing this, our resolution will become much lower. So the lower you go, the smaller the polygons will be behind the system. So by default, it's set to 0.1, which is an okay value, depending on what your scale of your scene is, of course. Then also here we have some settings for the main rock. So we have a basic seed. We also have the density, so I can lower this to create less rocks. I can increase this to create more rocks. We also have overall scale, so I can increase these rocks, make them bigger. I also have here the minimum and maximum scaling, so each rock has a different scale variation, and I also have some jitteriness to get some more randomness in there. Now what's actually really cool about this tool is that we can just modify our basic shapes, so it will always follow the box. So wherever I move the box, the rocks will be placed. And that's the main thing about this tool, is I can quickly block out a rocky area with boxes. Now here is also an option for rocks scattered on the ground. By default it is disabled, and you will also need a custom ground plane. So I'm going to grab here a plane. I'm going to scale it like this, and I'm going to make sure it's actually intersecting with my rock, with my box here that I originally plugged in. So I'm going to go here to World Outliner, use a current selection, so that is assigned. Now I can go back to settings. I'm going to go to near rock and start enabling this. So as you can see, it's actually going to scatter here small rocks based on the intersection between my basic shape, the cube, and my ground plane. So you can just play around with this to get more or less rocks and so on. Then further here at the last tab, you have an output. So by default, we will enable instancing, which basically means if I look here at my instance, we have 2 rocks scattered. So I have a big rock and a small rock that is being scattered. So you can also disable instancing, which will make this into one big unique mesh if you would want it. And also we have, of course, here a gradient color for the rocks, like you can see the green and brown gradient in there. And that was it for the rock tool.